Namaste to all. On behalf of the organizing committee, I, Dr. Jyoti Kulshresht, Assistant Professor, Shada University, Agra, welcomes all the delegates, all the academicians, policymakers, and the youths who are present over here at this moment in this night session of the very first day of the 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education, empowering youth through value-driven education for a happy and prosperous world. As we all know that United Nations sets the 17 SDG goals, Sustainable Development Goals, to achieve by 2030, and we all are working rigorously to achieve that. In this session, we are going to do the SWOT analysis of today's youth to address SDGs. So, to proceed further, I request Dr. Vanchana Singh to moderate the session. Dr. Vanchana Singh holds the PhD from IIT Delhi and has 20 years of experience in academic areas. She has been associated with Universal Human Values for past 8 years. Dr. Singh is a member of National Coordination Committee, Universal Human Values, AICTE, and actively involved in UHV activities across the country. Dr. Vanchana, please take over the session.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti Kulshresht. Namaste, everyone. A very warm welcome to all present here, various academicians, policymakers, students, various people working in various social sectors. To give you a brief context, this conference is rooted in a shared commitment to empower our youth through holistic, value-driven education for a happy and peaceful world. Today is day one. This day one begins with ensuring the right understanding. Before designing any solutions or policies, we must first understand the realities of today's youth, both within the individual level and in the systems that shape them up. Through the SWOT lens, this panel will try to reflect on the strengths the youth already possesses, their challenges, limitations, that's their weaknesses, the opportunities that are being created through the education, and the threats that emerge when competence develops without ethical clarity, something which is very important. From a universal human value perspective, today's discussion invites us to look beyond symptoms and focus on root causes, alignment between intention, thought, and action, harmony within the individual, and the responsibility towards the society and the nature. The entire discussion is not about some judgment. The entire discussion is focused about sharing clarity within ourselves. The diverse perspectives representing here by the academia people, by the policymakers, the youth, the social service will help us to see the whole picture. The insight from today will directly inform the vision and policy conservations over the next 2 days. So through this dialogue discussion, we all are present over here. Let me give a brief introduction of our esteemed panelists present over here. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce you to the whole team, starting with one of our panelists, who is an independent researcher from Nigeria. Let me welcome Chinendu Ostidima Chukwu. Most welcome, Chinendu ji. I hope you have been able to connect to us. Just to introduce you to the whole panel, you are a multidisciplinary background person in health sciences and education, working towards educational innovation. You are from Nigeria. Most welcome to you from our end. We are feeling delighted to see you as a part of our panel.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Your voice is very low. I suppose if you remove the headphones, you'll be able to speak more clearly.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you
Most
very
welcome.
much.
Most welcome.
All right.
Moving ahead, we have Krishna Mareddy ji, who is the Chief Technology Officer of Epic System with 30 years experience in leading large scale technology and business transformations across global enterprises. He's passionate in mentoring young professionals, ensuring ethical leadership. It gives me such a delight to welcome Krishna ji from Washington, D.C., USA, on our panel. Most welcome, Krishna ji.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and a pleasure to be here today.
Another person we have over here is Dr. Mitra, who is currently working in School of Computing, SRMIST Chennai, and is associated with value-based education, involved in various outreach activities and social responsibility. So as an academician, I find it really delightful to welcome Mitra ji. Namaste, Mitra ji.
Namaste, ma'am. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Gee, nice. Another panelist which we have over here is a very recent BITS Pilani graduate, Abhishek over here, Abhishek Reddy, who is a tech entrepreneur, expertise in AI ML, fundamental and applied decision systems, a very recent graduate and now actively involved in using tech at various fronts. So you are representing the young energy today. Welcome, Abhishek.
Yes, thank you. A pleasure to be in this part of this group. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, Abhishek. Moving ahead, we have one of the senior persons, Professor Sandeep Mali, who is a professor of civil engineering at Pimpri Chinwad College of Engineering, Pune, Maharashtra, who is very active with water conservation and other environmental issues. With a deep root in civil engineering, he focuses on ensuring sustainable development goals being one of his focal areas. Most welcome, Sandeep ji, to the panel.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Happy to be part of this team. Yeah.
Ji, very nice. We have our panelist, Professor Ishrat Mira Mirzana ji, who is a professor in mechanical engineering department at MJ College of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad, Telangana, director RDC, the regional coordinator of the SCR region, director Engineers Without Border, a very active UHV volunteer since 2022. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Dr. Ishrat Mira Mirzana ji.
Thank you, Dr. Vanchana, for your kind introduction. Thank you so much.
Another panelist amongst us today for discussion is Professor Yashwant Patil ji. Professor Yashwant Patil ji is at SS Jonle College of Engineering and Technology, Maharashtra. He's a member Board of Studies, Civil Engineering at University of Mumbai, active UHV volunteer in the Western region and the regional coordinator of the Western team. Most welcome, Dr. Yashwant Patil ji. Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Vanchana.
One of the very important esteemed panelists we have today is M. Srinivasaluji. M. Srinivasaluji is presently at MBKR Institute of Science and Technology, Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. He is currently professor and principal over there, taking up a lot of student-related assignments with ethical leadership. Most welcome, M. Srinivasaluji.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for inviting me.
So, with this esteemed panel, let me check if we have some more of our panelists over here. We expected 2-3 more panelists recently. Nice. So, with this August introduction of all our esteemed panelists, we want to set the stage to hear from one of our UHV active volunteers, Dr. Ishrat Mira Mirzana ji, the UHV point of view pertaining to the SWOT analysis of the youth. So I welcome Dr. Ishrat Mira Mirzana for the UHV point of view.
Thank you, Dr. Vanchana, for this opportunity. So, before we start with the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, and opportunities analysis for today's youth to address SDGs in the context of sustainability and SDGs. Before we discuss about it, we have to understand, are our youth really ready for this SDGs, the 17 SDGs, which were supposed to be attained by 2020. Due to COVID, it has been extended to have this attainment by 2030. But do really the youth are ready for this? To understand this, we need to have the clarity about sustainability. What is the root for sustainability? So when we want to talk or discuss or propose about sustainability, we see that the nature, which is consisting of 4 orders: material order, plant order, animal order, and human order. In this, except human beings, all are self-sustained. We see that they balance with each other because all the 3 orders are in balance without exploitation or excess. So what do you think the challenge of sustainability primarily arises? So this challenge lies that it is the human order which is guided by choices of intentions and external factors that need sustainability. So it is clearly when we talk about the roots of sustainability, who is living unsustainably in the nature? It is the human order. But who wants sustainability in nature when we discuss the human beings? What exactly is sustainability with respect to human beings? The sustainability is with respect to the perspective of having basic aspirations. What are the basic aspirations? The basic aspirations are happiness and prosperity. So for sustainable living life, we need to have the fulfillment of this basic aspiration. It is proposed to have this basic aspiration fulfilled. So the fundamental questions to these basic aspirations is, have we really understood the meaning of happiness? Is happiness only in acquiring the physical facilities? Is it that whatever it being in harmony is the ultimate happiness? Happiness momentarily is just an excitement. So that is what the youth and especially each one of us have to have the understanding of what is the real meaning of happiness is about. Similarly, we have to also examine whether we have understood the real meaning of prosperity. And with respect to, if we have the understanding of happiness and prosperity, then we'll be able to have a sustainable living. But for this one, what is the preparation that is required? Can anyone in the panel or in the attendees who have joined us can give their views as to what could be the preparedness? Okay, moving ahead. So when we look into it,
Shall I answer? Yeah, madam. Shall I just add?
Yes.
Yeah. So the point of a discussion, how we can prepare the youth for this. Okay. Being an academician and our is the Professional Engineering Institute. So how we can include into the curriculum, that is one thing, so that they can understand initially. After that, how they can apply. So they are having an internship, they are having a projects, they are living into the society. So what they are learning into the curriculum and they are applying there. So that can be analyzed. So this is one of the way through which we can introduce the sustainability. So this is
Very
my
nice,
point.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
As said, when we are talking about sustainable living, as sir said, it whatever proposed by Sandeep ji, it is about the harmony in society. So for a sustainable living, first we need to have the understanding of harmony. So for that one, we need to develop the right understanding. And for this right understanding, the holistic education, the holistic value-based education is required, which helps in holistic understanding of the requirement. Harmony at the 4 levels, that is harmony in human being, harmony in the family, harmony in the society, harmony in the nature and existence. This is required to be understood with a right understanding. And with this right understanding, if they try to build up a relationship with every human being in living, that is the sanskar, then it will lead to the mutual happiness. Similarly, if we are able to understand what is our requirement of physical facilities, because that's how we'll be able to judge how much is we can utilize from the nature instead of overutilization or consuming the nature or having the right understanding of the need. We'll be in harmony at all the levels: individual, family, society, and nature. So, right understanding with the physical facility will help in the mutual prosperity. So, with the mutual happiness and mutual prosperity, one can live a sustainable life at all the 4 levels. So, with this understanding about the sustainability, let us move forward to understand what is the SWOT analysis with respect to our youth. So, when we talk about the youth, the strengths of the youth is the energy and creativity. Today, the youth are more energetic and their imagination level is so high that they have the proposals and fresh ideas, innovative ideas. Thereby, they can reimagine sustainability. That's how we are talking about Make in India, because 60% of the Indian population is youth population. Now, India is considered to be youth country. So their energy and creativity is our strength. And more than that, our youth are less entrenched with the consumption habits. And they are having value-driven lifestyles more readily available to them. And above all, the digital fluency that they are having. Now, whatever problems are there, they're able to provide solutions and they're able to utilize the digital technology. They're able to develop the apps through which the farmers we can be able to understand how the crop is being, the crop diseases can be identified. What is the amount of fertilizers that can be utilized? All this. So that means the youth have this digital fluency. They can use the technology, the emerging technologies like AI, big data, drone technology to provide the sustainable solutions. And above all, our youth are having the naturally drawn to justice, fairness. So this equality drives them to the sustainability. And all this because they are connected to the digital platforms like the social media and all. They can mobilize the global causes quickly. And we see that the youth participate in a very good number whenever there are any disasters and disaster mitigation or disaster help when it is required. The peace campaigns, for everything we see that the youth try to come forward and be a part of it. So this youth strength, whatever are there, if they embody the potential for transformation, when it is guided by universal values, we propose that the SDGs can be easily achieved. Coming to the weaknesses. So we know that the current education system focuses on competition rather than excellence. So they are being exposed to this narrow wisdom about having higher salary packages, big posts. So this is leading to a lack of holistic wisdom. At the same time, the youth, when you are talking about the comparison, it leads to a dissatisfaction in the youth because they don't understand what is the real happiness and prosperity. The vagueness of prosperity and happiness is can be understood, can be proposed to be understood with a clarity in the thoughts. So, with respect to this, as and when they are talking about competition and all, they are more exposed to materialistic. And nowadays, we see that all the apps that are available at a one click, that be it Swiggy, Zomato, all this for the consumerism also. They have various apps. So because of this, the consumption-driven lifestyles, this is risking the youth from a sustainable living. They are not able to go to the market, understand what is the pain that a farmer goes through, and to get the vegetables to the market, because sitting at home you will not be able to understand what all efforts is going on. So there is a value erosion that is happening. At the same time, when they are more exposed to the technology, this over usage leads to anxiety, depression, and a weaker human bonds, leading to unsustainability. Nowadays, we see the children are having more of virtual friends and they are lacking to have social friends. The friendship, the value of friendship is lost, which is leading to a mental depression among the youth. This is one of the weaknesses. And because of this, can also observe there's a disconnection from the tradition, the erosion of family and community structures deprives youth of indigenous wisdom and collective practices. Before, we used to see that we had, instead of nuclear families, joint families, through which they used to learn about traditions, which is being lost. A sustained susceptibility to misinformation. The social media environments multiply polarization and superficial engagement. So, without grounding in universal human values, youth risk becoming a part of contradictions that they have to solve. When we talk about opportunities, the opportunities is today's youth are if they are exposed to this value driven education, that is, if you are integrating UHV into learning, they become leaders who balance prosperity with sustainability. And with this one, they'll be also be the agents of cultural renewal. The youth can revive traditions of community, simplicity, and ecological harmony. And the innovations with purpose, with holistic wisdom. They can use the technology not for profit maximization, but for the human and ecological well-being. They can work towards circular economy. They can talk about green jobs. They can talk about social entrepreneurship, wherein they can bring in the local markets into the global perspective. There are many cultural inherent products that have to see the limelight. So through the local to global action, the youth can contribute a lot. They can link the sustainable living that is practiced locally to global SDG movements. And the youth, as we said, the youth are the ones who can influence the policy. A large mobilized youth population can push the governments to rethink about the growth-centric policies. With this UHV, the youth can address these SDGs holistically. This is the opportunity that lies with our youth. Coming to the threats, they're trapped in this growth paradigm. As I said, the youth internalize that consumerism, undefined prosperity. They may replicate the same unsustainable systems. We see that the person who is earning more will try to show off having more and more cars or procuring more houses than required. So they are trapped in this growth paradigm. What exactly is the growth in terms of prosperity, which is guided by UHV, is not understood. That clarity is missing. And we see that because they want to earn more, the educated youth are migrating for better opportunities, leaving these local communities weaker. Instead of utilizing the brain for the upliftment, they're utilizing it for their self-growth. So above all, the overdependence on technology, this is leading to the loss of traditional knowledge and also social disconnection. We see that this nowadays, if we want to ask anyone, instead of thinking it from their inner consciousness, because of the AI development, the chat GPT, people are just using it, overusing it, instead of utilizing it in a proper way. Even when we want to respond to anyone, they want to see the message, how to greet others, how to respond to others. So this is what is leading to the loss of the traditions, traditional knowledge. And thereby they'll be having this social disconnection and the cultural homogenization. Global consumer culture may erode local values and ecological practices. We see that nowadays in supermarkets, even the coconut water that is being, say, the people are inclined to procure that. The youth are more procured to see that fascinated packages rather than procuring a coconut, the real coconut which is being sold in coconut water, which is sold by a local person. So this all is migrating them from the local values and ecological practices. Instead of supporting the local market, they are moving it to it. So we are looking at the GDP. Some of the paradigm that we are looking forward is we think about the growth in terms of GDP, whereas the real paradigm should be the gross national happiness. The paradigm shift should occur with about the thought process, the clarity of purpose, why, what we are doing. So the disillusionment is if promises of SDGs remain unfulfilled, youth may lose the trust in institutions and global cooperation. It is not just the youth who are responsible for all this. It is the society and the family, the nature, all should work together if we want to attain these SDGs. The governments, the policies, everybody should come together as faculty and academicians. We have the bigger responsibility to take over, guide them the right direction, make them understand, propose them how the UHV, universal human values, will help them in understanding the holistic development, help in the holistic development, how sustainability can be achieved. Because human beings are the unique, because they possess the human consciousness. And sustainability is the core essence, not an external problem. So this biggest threat is that the youth energy is co-opted into sustaining the very paradigm that caused the crisis. So with this one, I present to the panel that the key message is the youth are not just beneficiaries of SDGs. They are the torch bearers. When empowered through universal human values, they become the foundation of a sustainable and harmonious future. So looking forward for a fruitful panel discussion with this proposal of SWOT analysis from the UHV perspective. Thank you. Over to you, Manchana ji.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ishrat Mira Mirzana ji. You have set the flow right with lots and lots of inputs. Now, as a panel together, we all are ready to carry forward the discussion. The various insights and the UHV proposals integrated with the SWOT analysis is going to really trigger and steer the direction of the panel discussion thoroughly. Before initiating the set of questions and discussion with our panelists, I would quickly remind few important things to all our panelists. Over here, we are gathered to steer the discussion in the right direction, looking forward to solutions. So it's a collaborative, collective approach that we are going to follow. And with availability of the time, we would restrict our responses to around 3 minutes, and a gentle reminder in the form of little alarm will ring at the end of 3 minutes with every speaker. So keeping time into account, we'll try to elicit out as much insight as possible through these discussions, making it more and more collaborative and meaningful throughout. So now moving forward with the discussions, let's start up with the strengths, what the youth already possesses, something which with the youth is attributed to. And let me make the beginning with one of our youngest panelists, starting with Abhishek, who is a young technocrat. So, Abhishek, let me put this little question to you from your own perspective.
Okay.
What inherent strengths do you see in today's youth that position them as a natural contributor to peace, justice, and sustainability?
For this peace, justice, and sustainability topic, one of the most important thing youth possess, I believe, is sensitivity to it. And I believe we are sensitive as youth to these problems is because we are experiencing firsthand. We are experiencing the problems firsthand. For example, if we take climate change as an example, we are seeing from our childhood, we are seeing that like climate disasters we are experiencing, we are seeing them every day in the news. Farmers are not getting the crops as expected, rains are not as expected. This we are seeing firsthand. Second important thing youth possess is this: we have like connection. Digital literacy is the most important thing. We access the knowledge from the internet easily. We can collaborate on the forums, Reddit discussions we can have. So we have awareness of the situation better than like older generation people. So I feel those two are the main strengths youth have.
Very, very nice that you have been able to figure out what the youth really possesses. This is first-hand account from your end. Let me ask this to one of our senior persons over here who has been an educator for long. So Sandeep ji, putting it across you, what inherent strengths do you see in today's youth that are going to position them as natural contributors to peace, justice, and sustainability? Let's take the senior viewpoint simultaneously.
Yeah. So the points that is the peace, justice, and the sustainability. So where I work, it is in a engineering college. It is a professional. So what I have seen this year, we started one sustainable development goal cell at our institute. That is the SDG cell. And this is voluntarily and willingly cell we have started. There is no any compulsion. Almost 35 students they have sent. When we see from the problems point of view, the students they are taking willingly the problems. The advantage in the SWOT it was presented. The entire world is connected. So there are so many opportunities they can connect to the each other easily. through these various platforms, they come up with different kind of solutions which will be useful to the society. Another thing I want to highlight, as our institute is autonomous, so we have the one of the UHV vertical. So as per the NEP, these UHV courses are also there, and these SDG. So they go hand in hand, and due to which the solutions what they are bringing to the society, they are really useful. It becomes. So just I share today's one example. Today we have a Jal Dindi Pratishthan. It is a journey of a river from source to the again tab. So where the student participated, they given their ideas and they are coming up with the solutions.
Gee. Nice that you are able to relate it to real-time examples and how the energy of the youth can be channelized with the expertise of the senior mentors in an institute, which can give them sufficient practice so that they can really bring it in their own living. So let me take the discussion to other part of the world, to Nigeria. So moving to Chineduji, how can the creativity, empathy, and the energy, which is already visible among the youth, be better recognized and structured so that it translates into long-term social and environmental impact? You have to unmute. Chineduji, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. From the question you asked, the youth, especially those in Nigeria, are very creative and they have the energy, which has been amplified by their creative structure, which although we have a lot of challenges over here in Nigeria, but the youth that are here are very creative and they have the energy and they can adapt to every situation. You can attest to that. Most Nigerians who are also in India are adapting to the situations in India and also adapting to them very well. And their environment has also provided them with that opportunity to be able to amplify their potentials through mentorship programs. They have inculcated themselves into trying to join some other groups in order to improve their creativity too. I think their creativity and energy is paramount and is important to the growth. And also this is also one of the greatest strengths of the youth, especially for Nigerians. Thank you.
Nice that you are able to highlight the adaptability as one of the greatest strengths of the youth and the right kind of mentorship programs. Moving ahead to the other part of the world, to get the glimpse of what the other part of the world thinks, let us take this up to Krishna Mareddy ji from US. So would you like to specify how creativity, empathy, and energy amongst the youth can be better recognized and structured so that it translates into long-term social and environmental impacts?
Absolutely. I relate this entire thing as I have opportunity to work with the young professionals and even graduates. So what I have seen, right, when young professionals come on board, the real ownership, not just a token participation, give them a responsibility and ownership, and that can change their entire perspective in a big time. And I feel that is biggest motivator, right? If you just ask them to participate, it's only like a token. They'll do whatever they can. But the minute you give ownership, then they start questioning what else can be done. Like the driving part comes in, right? And the second part is more from academic perspective. So all these societal, these initiatives, it really need to be integrated into academics and the day-to-day life. So many times this is seen as extra, right? Instead, that should be baked into like how you give your credits, for example, some incentives in the form of recognition, not necessarily monetary, right? Where once they take it up, that can really help them getting something out of it that will help them going forward. And the other important thing is working on real world problems. See, youth get motivated when they see the outcome, what they work, it really impacts like outcome. Say, for example, reducing wastage. If you have a goal, then they see that happening, that kind of gets motivating for anyone, not only the one doing, who is observing also. More people can come in. And the last point I want to make is more institutional support. So many times the youngsters come and go and they're short tenure as such, right? So institutions can support such a way they can create a like high level purpose, and then the responsibility, whatever I talked about, provide that area that where people can take responsibility, ownership, and drive it, and then support comes into continuity, right? Such a way that someone else can come in and then make impact. Otherwise, what happens if the good guys come like a strong impact and people come in, it goes up, the impact comes, and when they leave, everything comes down. So it's very, very important to have that the organization support and structure such a way that these the progress is like consistent and like a sustainable.
Very rightly put forth. The taking ownership is the initiation, incentivizing them rightly, gathering institutional support. So all these are very important so that we can ensure that their creativity, empathy, and energy is rightly utilized into long-term social environmental goals. Goal setting is very important. So you rightly remarked about it. Really
And I can
nice
attest
to
that
hear.
this is attest that this works in the corporate world as well.
Yes,
As
definitely.
firsthand. So
Definitely.
definitely work. Yeah.
Definitely. Very important to understand the corporate point of view, because we are, as academicians, making them corporate ready. And if after so many years they are not able to fit into the right system, there are lacunas which need to be addressed. So really rightly said. So what lies is the education ensuring the right understanding. So really nice to hear from you this. Moving ahead further, let us take response from Mitra ji, who is directly interacting with students. So Mitra ji, what existing examples from classrooms, campus, or communities will demonstrate youth-led care for society, nature? What kind of help is ensured to make these efforts succeed?
Yes. Ma'am, there are various real-time examples of youth-led care. So on that, whenever I'm seeing in the campuses, the students are participating in several cleanliness drive, and they are even more participating in energy conservative initiatives, and they are also involved in rainwater harvesting projects and biodiversity club. In addition, they are also involving in digital literacy program and health awareness camps and many more, like the tribal school infrastructure development, and they are also initiating by themselves. So what makes these efforts succeed is when they feel themselves like a ownership, as sir said, Mr. Krishna sir said, once they take that ownership, then only they can realize that it's their responsibility to, as a project or whatever. So, when they feel it is for others, it is for ma'am, or it is for any other institution, they will never feel that it is there. They never value it. So, on that basis, when students feel that the project is genuinely going to support the other people. For example, when we take the crop yield prediction, a student of mine has participated in crop yield prediction, has done a crop yield prediction, and that was a hit project, and he has created an app and served for many people. And in that I would able to see that the students effort feels like that it is his responsibility to give the app to the forthcoming, like the farmers pays a great way that he has taken that responsibility. And another success factor is institutional support is must without any excessive control. And that is one point that I need to insist. And youth thrive institutions which whenever we act, we have to act as a facilitators and not supervisors. So when you take that supervisor positions, they will not adapt to it. So we have to stand in a line where we have to ment them. We have to give a proper mentorship guidance. Additionally, redefining success is like valuing the social impact, not just getting the certificates, encourages them to move into the deeper involvement with the society. So according to me, the care is not something that we need to teach the youth nowadays, that it is something which we need to enable with them. So according to me, these are all the instance. And we also had a program called the Euro program, undergraduate program in our college, which is completely meant for SDG goals alone. Among 17 goals, the student should select the desired SDG goal according to their wish, and they are making the project. And as of now, we have to show them the right direction to utilize the stuffs. Like already they are in the path. Yeah. Thank you.
Really nice to hear this, that it is the goal setting which is very important, and instead of imposing like an institute or a supervisor, we
Yeah.
propose and interact with them with clarity, so that as a mentor we can facilitate them to take their real ownership. So really nice. We have talked about what youth already possesses, something which they already are capable of. But yet, lack of direction, orientation is something we all are observing in our day-to-day living. So, focusing on this inner and systematic gaps, the weaknesses, let me ask Srinivasaluji that despite having this strong intent to do things right, why do many youth driven sustainability initiatives just lose momentum? And what kind of gaps exist at each and every level, starting from individual to institute to policy levels? What do you feel?
So maybe the right understanding they might not be having, madam. The gap, whatever they are trying to get, is actually maybe the day they got into the institute, they would have come with different backgrounds. And by the time they get adjusted to this environment and to the people who are all surrounded by it, it takes time. So maybe during that particular span, we may have to give them some kind of support, like do be like this, do like this, and one-to-one understanding how to build, giving some guidelines, and providing some way of showing some methodology to adjust to those requirements that suits, rather that accommodates them in a flexible manner, and which is going to give them the right understanding. So that way, if we can manage the show, then they'll be able to get adjusted and they'll move on. Say something like sometimes some disturbances will come in the campus, maybe between the students. Then understanding, making them to realize what caused them to get that particular disturbance. Once you clear between them, then they will come, they will come together, then they will go ahead in a smooth manner. So there should be an environment wherein they will be identifying the pitfalls, or they will be realizing the real reasons behind them, understanding them, and then going ahead. So that way only we'll be able to put them in a track.
So very rightly remarked, learning from one's own weaknesses, which starts from identifying the weaknesses, and right understanding, as you mentioned, is going to ensure that with the strong intent, now the direction is also set right, so that these youth-driven sustainability measures do not just feather out, and they actually don't lose momentum and do something collectively. So
Yes,
nice that we are able to focus on the inner systematic gaps and trying to figure out how to respond to them. Moving ahead with our discussion further, let me invite Dr. Ishrat to respond to this particular question, how the inner challenges such as lack of clarity, fear of failure, pressures, how does it completely limit the consistent youth engagement, and how can they be really reinforced by the current systems?
Yeah, nowadays the asset when the youth are driven with the physical or external factors, definitely that's a challenge for them. That the fear of failure, and there is a competition, sense of competition. This is what is putting them under pressure. And the current system, rightly, like when it comes to the taking the evaluation, the students are evaluated with respect to the marks or grades, but they are not being measured about their contribution to the society. Or when we talk about the SDGs, it is the selfless work that the student wants to do for the society, and that is not graded anywhere. There is no clarity regarding this. And with this intention, though they have the intention, the systems, the education system that is presently there, it is not reinforcing them on any credit basis for that. So this is something which needs to be taken care by the current education system, like how they are contributing for the society, that should be there, and the involvement of all the stakeholders, because it's not just the responsibility of the youth, because when the stakeholders give him the perspective or the openness for him to move ahead, work towards the sustainability, that everybody's intentions are same, we want to achieve sustainability, that clarity if it is there. And for this one, the all the stakeholders should also support him. The education system should come with a transformation. They should come with reforms about those who are doing or working towards SDGs, sustainability. There should be some appreciation for the same. So all these are the things which needs to be taken care by the current education system. Else the student will be held in the circular jargon of the marks, fear of losing, and he will be completely under pressure, whereas he will not be having that open-mindedness, open mind to work for the society. So this is my viewpoint of. Thank you.
Really nice to hear this from you, that a collective approach where everyone takes their own responsibility, all stakeholders together work for it, can really ensure that the youth actually gathers courage to take up the assignments driven by the realistic goals. Really nice. Moving ahead further, let me put forth this question to Yashwant Patilji, that in what ways can the present education and evaluation system appear to fall short in nurturing a responsible, value-driven leadership amongst the youth, something which we have been continuously discussing as a huge gap? Yashwant Patilji.
Yes, very nice question. If we see today's scenario where you can say much weightage is given for the certificates or marks, and somewhere we are not able to share with the students what is the purpose. In fact, what they are looking as in the form of the outcome, and somewhere this is driving them to sort of a competition. But if we help them that just try to have this for complementarity, how I can contribute. Just take the example of planting even the number of trees. When it is being done for, you can say, certain purpose, that marks are there. That can be one thing, or just that, yes, I want to contribute for this society. And now what we found is that the response was totally different. I think guiding the students about the purpose, that will really help them. Yes. So this is what I wanted to share. Thank you.
So with all this discussion, we could see that there are strengths, but there are weaknesses. The strengths to be channelized rightly, and the weaknesses need to be addressed with a holistic approach. So, looking forward to the opportunities, the pathways for transformation, let me initiate the discussion further with Sandeep ji. So, looking forward to various opportunities available in terms of the youth today, how can education, governance, and youth initiatives together help young people discover a sense of purpose which is rooted in contributions rather than this competition or comparisons?
Uh, okay. Let us share one example. It was one of the initiation with the NGO that is a Jaldindi Pratishthan. The problem statement is related to the river pollution, water pollution for the Pauna River. Actually, we know it is a responsibility of everyone, that is the government, then the private sector, those who are causing. So the initiation, it was taken by the NGO, the private colleges, and here the actively role played was by the student. And the concept, it was called as a river police. So what they were doing, the students, they were doing collecting the samples monthly, they were doing the analysis, they were preparing the report, and that report put forth to the commissioner of the municipal corporation. They recognize the work done by the students, and after that, even the commissioner, they come to the river, they saw the river, they understand the problem, and some of the actions they have started to take it. And today I realize for one of the village, the state government is sponsoring almost 1.5 crores for the sewage treatment plant. So this might be a initiation and the jointly work it was, where the students got really opportunity, not only for the mark, but the real outcome has come it. So similarly, there are other some examples when they do internship, or it may be a community engagement project. Basically, they are willingly coming. They are doing. It is not only for the marks, but it is really useful to the society, and that becomes opportunity. And let I add here. Earlier, it was not possible, but due to this NEP, new education policy, there are some courses like multidisciplinary minor courses, open elective. So wherever what they do the work, that gets credited also, and they get the mark, and that also get recognized.
Gee. So nice that our students are able to relate to real life problems and are seeking solutions for real life problems. And once they are able to relate to real life problems, their initiatives get a purpose, and then they are ready to contribute rather than just for mere certificate competing for various things. So rightly said that as an institute, as a mentor, when we design the right kind of programs, it helps our students to seek that purpose, and with that purpose it provides them the opportunity to translate it into a pathway. Really nice to hear from you. Moving to Krishna Mareddy ji. So let us take your opinion on what role the value-based education frameworks, even though you have been into corporate for such a long time, yet this value-based education frameworks like UHV or any such other efforts can really play. What do you think in strengthening the responsibility towards people, society, nature? What is your opinion about it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, to make any impact, right? So we need two things. One is outer capabilities, like skills, right? And then the inner capabilities. I think outer capabilities is where a lot of focus and it's obvious, and the institutions and the individuals, everyone focus and get there. And the challenge is with the fine-tuning the inner capabilities. I think this is where the UHV and the universities can play a huge role, in my opinion. I think the earlier problem statements and weaknesses we called out multiple times, right? To cap it, the students are kind of, their attention span is short, a lot of distractions, lots of tensions from their career and other goals, competing priorities. So with all that, they go through a lot of challenges, the mental challenges as such. And in the process, they lose like inner compass where it can guide them through all this. So for the UHV or universities can help find their purpose such a way that that inner compass develops. And the way I feel that universities can enforce, it's about or help individuals. It's about giving a space for reflection. Today's generation kind of runs and keeps going, and then there is no time for just taking a step back and reflecting. So if institutions can help them and nurture them such a way, just to take a step back, understand what really matters, understand what is the purpose, right? So what brings happiness, what is well-being, needs versus wants, and the responsibility to oneself, not only oneself, and society and nature. I think in the main talk, Dr. Ishrat also talked about, right? So, and that all brings like ethical grounding, right? So in my opinion, that is immense value for today's generation is needed, because they are gung-ho with all the capabilities, and then they are restless and putting a lot of energy. But they just set the direction, the compass, so give them the inner compass that they can, it guides them, and there is no stopping. They can create like a real impact, in my opinion.
Gee, very nice, very well said. This inner compass is something which is very important for everyone to have the ethical grounding. And as a corporate perspective coming from you, it is giving a realistic goal for the educational institutes to steer their direction so that everyone who is spending 4 or 5 years in a professional course could actually meet up to what the corporate world is looking forward to. Taking up the same question to Abhishek, as a young student, you have been a recent pass out and now entering into corporate domain with your own initiatives in the tech world. What is your opinion on the role of value-based education frameworks, which can play in strengthening the responsibility amongst the youth towards the people, society, and nature?
The main problem youth is facing is they know what the problem is, but they don't have the courage to act. So I think value-based education can bridge this gap.
So, getting it from you, it's a
Yes.
strong message to our own academic systems, message to our own institutions, message to our own family structures, that while working for a value-based education, we are working to raise our generations rightly. So it is so heartening to listen from you that value-based education frameworks, where a proper UHV curriculum is devised and it is being incorporated into the education system, plays a very leading role in strengthening responsibility within the youth towards people around them, towards society, towards nature, which is one way of addressing these SDGs. So, very well said. In a very brief and single line, you could put forth the statements directly. I really appreciate that. Moving ahead further with Mitra ji, who is an academician. So, Mitra ji, what concrete changes in the institutional or policy design can enable youth to genuinely lead, own, and sustain SDG focused initiatives?
Yes. The biggest change needed is simple but bold. But as I said earlier, the trust youth with complete ownership, according to me. So today, many youth initiatives are like utilizing short-term events. For example, when they are practicing for any cleaning, when they are campaigning for any clean drive. Because the cleaning drive is giving one-time awareness, but it is not in a continuous structure. So when that continuity follow-up will be there once when they have given a proper ownership, when the students are given proper ownership rather than being a participant, they have to take the position as a leader. And one more thing about it, and but look at the places where the students even manage the waste systems, energy audits, or even the community programs for multiple years. See, when they do all these things, the changes are dramatically better. So even the institutions and the policies must support the funding linked to the funding continuously, and even the mentorship. And one more thing I want to insist here is no micromanagement should be done to the students. Once the thing is given, it has to be they'll take it forward. So when youth are treated as partners instead of volunteers or participants, uh, there will not be any genuinely they can lead and own the system. SDG focused goals actually.
So very rightly mentioned that giving responsibility and letting them take their way, where we are only guarding them and not imposing the ideas in the forefront. That is very, very important. So amongst us recently, Dr. K. Srinivas ji has joined, another panelist. So let me have a quick introduction of Srinivas ji, who is an director academic planning at Skyline University, Nigeria, and who has been a PhD in human resource management and involved in training and mentoring lots of students. Srinivas ji, could you hear us clearly? Srinivas ji, we can't hear you. Maybe some connectivity issue at your end, Srinivas ji. We can't hear you. We can't see your video also. Let me put forth the question to Chinedu ji. So, Chinedu ji, as per your own opinions, what concrete changes in the institutional or policy design would enable youth to genuinely lead, own, and sustain SDG focused initiatives?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to go in. Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I would like to go in line with Dr. Mira's contribution. I like to emphasize on the issue of mentorship. Mentorship programs are very important, not just for the value-based education programs or for the government initiatives or institutional initiatives. When you have mentorship program, I'm actually a product of a mentorship program, so I know the impact it has played in my life as an individual and as a young person in the academic world. So when a youth is involved in this mentorship program, it gives him a sense of self-belonging. Face-to-face, self-paced learning also helps the youth to be able to cope with this heavy burden that's been placed on them when it comes to SDG focused initiatives. So, and government should also try as much as possible to provide innovative fundings, policy frameworks, and also involve them when making those policies. But if you don't involve them in making those policies, it's as if you're making those policies in a vague format. When you involve them, they become part of it. They give you their own suggestions, their own weaknesses, what should be added and what should be removed. It makes the policies functionable. I used to tell a lot of people in the academic world that the problem we have is not the curriculum or the policies that have been made. It's just the implementation of those policies. Because these people who these policies are for are not being involved properly. If they're being involved properly in these policies and through the mentorship programs, government policies and institutional policies will go a long way. Thank you.
Okay. Really nice that we are able to see that through appropriate policies, we can have the self-paced learning programs for the youth where they take their own onus and set their own goals. With that clarity, when they work, they can take it forward. Srinivas ji, could we connect to you now that you are
Am I
available?
audible?
Yes,
Am I audible?
you are clearly audible. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, welcome to the panel. And let me put forth this question to you, being into the education process for such a long time and mentoring students. What do you think are the concrete changes in the institutional or policy designs that can enable youth to actually genuinely lead, own, and sustain SDG focused initiatives? Sir got disconnected. Okay, maybe some connectivity issue at his end. So, with this discussion, let's continue further to look at the threats. Since we are analyzing all possible strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, now moving on to the threats, the external and future risks. So, let us see what external forces, media narratives, consumer cultures, social expectations, what is it that is mostly undermining the youth commitment to sustainable and ethical living? Let me put forth this question to Dr. Ishrat Meera Mirzana ji. What do you think?
Yeah, the external force, the media narrative is more having impact on the commitment of sustainable and ethical living, because when the people do wrong thing, that is very much highlighted, or the glamorous thing is the one which is being highlighted more, rather than the commitment that the youth do with respect to the sustainable projects. The intentions are not highlighted by the media a lot. So I think the biggest external force, or which is hindering, is the media. One thing. Next, coming to the culture, consumer culture that is there. That is also one of the factor that is impacting. That is the threat, I can say, for the ethical living. The students now, not just the students, but each one of us are becoming the consumer culture. There is a lot of shift. We have moved to a digital consumerism rather than a holistic consumerism. We are looking forward to procuring things. We are not having the idea about what is the correct purpose, what is the need, what exactly is the prosperity. So the intent, the core values are being missed. This is something which has to be addressed, and along with it, the social expectations. Today, the society measures the success only. Success in terms of competition. Success not in terms of excellence. They see, like, if a team building is done, if a collective well-being is thought, this is something which has to be focused by everyone. For ethical living, it is the collective well-being which should be focused. From competition to cooperation, they have to move. And at the same time, we see that the youth, the media or something, the role models who are working, they are very few. There are role models, there are people who have developed a complete forest. And recently there is a lady who passed away. She has set up a complete forest. Those noble causes, they are not very much highlighted in the media. So these initiatives, if they are highlighted, and the intentions, the commitment, all this have to be put forward in the right direction. Else we'll be working it as a fragmented way only. The wholesome approach is lost. So this is what is affecting the ethical living. That's my point of view. Thank you.
So primarily driven by various media narratives and guided merely by their own preconditionings without any verification, the youth is misled, and that leads to their lack of commitment to sustainable ethical living. Very rightly pointed out Ishratji. So we have with us Srinivasaluji. So putting forth to Srinivasaluji how the global uncertainties, the uncertainties that we see around, like climate change, various geopolitical conflicts, economic instabilities, how are they actually affecting our youth's motivation and their mental well-being? And what kind of support systems are essential to help them get rid of these uncertainties?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Ji Srinivasji.
Yeah. The global uncertainties is generally, is it global uncertainties is like your eco anxiety and then emotional intelligence. They can actually impact the students in such a things that the climate change, especially the climate change, the geopolitical conflict, and also the economic instability, they normally have a very deep multifaceted impact on youth motivation and well-being. Okay, so young people today, they are growing up in such an environment which is marked by unpredictability, wherein we can just code that unpredictability as environmental degradation or the volatility of the job market or even the social polarization. And even you can see even the frequent global crisis. So while access to this information has increased the awareness, it also has intensified certain psychological stress. So climate change in particular, it has given rise to a particular anxiety called eco-anxiety, wherein it is a persistent sense of fear, the grief, and also the helplessness about the environmental collapse. Many youth feel morally burdened by problems they did not create at or expected to solve. This often leads to a fatigue of emotions and disengagement or even cynicism as well. So, despite heightened awareness, the coping mechanisms and the institutional support systems, they remain insufficient. Mental health challenges among youth are often stigmatized. They are underdiagnosed and they're addressed only after crisis. So, academic and professional environments, they continue to emphasize performance, competition, and also outcome, leaving a little space for emotional processing, reflection, or even time. As a result, this anxiety is internalized. It leads to burnout and withdrawal and some unhealthy connection. So to address this, a multi-layered support system is essential. First of all, accessible and culturally sensitive mental health services. They must be integrated into the educational institutions, including counseling, the emotional literacy programs, and even the stress management intervention. Second, peer support networks, which I think a lot of universities have started. So, peer support networks and the student well-being initiatives, they create very safe spaces where youth can share their concerns, they normalize the vulnerabilities of each other, and then they even can build a collective resilience. Thirdly, mentorship and the role model guidance from educators, professionals, and community leaders as well. It can help the youth to reframe the uncertainty as a space of learning, adaptability, and even contribution rather than having the fear of it. Last but not the least, a safe dialogue and the reflection spaces within the classrooms. I'm saying within the classrooms and even within the campuses, they should allow youth to discuss the global challenges openly, even the ethical dilemmas, and also the personal anxieties without any judgment or the pressure of evaluation. So value-based guidance frameworks, such as universal human values, they play a very crucial role in helping the youth gain the clarity about happiness, responsibility, and even purpose. So these frameworks should shift their focus from external uncertainty to internal stability, which can enable the young people to transform anxiety into a constructive action, compassion, and as well as long-term commitment to the society. That's what I think.
Very, very rightly taken up this identifying the threats and then helping the youth to come out of the uncertainties through institutional support, family support, mental well-being is very important. So all that collective approach is very much needed. Taking up this last question, let me put forth it to M. Srinivasaluji, that what mindset shift are urgently needed across the individuals, across the institutions, so that our youth is prevented from being trapped in unhealthy competition and unsustainable consumption, something with which the youth is overdriven, consuming more and more. I want to have it all. That feeling within the youth. What kind of mindset shifts are urgently needed, if you would like to add to this?
Thank you, madam, for asking me this. It's actually, if they have really understood the importance of desire and comparison, maybe that is going to give them a bad feeling. Once they understand really, they need to fill their inner fulfillment, like recognizing the true happiness that is really coming from inner harmony, definitely not from the external possessions or status. That particular point they should have really understood. Rather, we should have made them to realize that. Maybe in that particular process, we alone, if we work for it, we may not be able to satisfy that in total. So sometimes what we may have to do is we have to talk to their parents, we have to mentor their parents, because majority of the time they will be spending even with their parents. So that's the reason why we have to make the parents, their parents to realize, so that when they are spending time with their parents, better they also should guide them or mentor them. So taking the support of parents in mentoring, that's what I am trying to say. Then they should also understand, rather than wasting a particular time and something, they should understand what is really required, maybe what is necessary. So once they realize this is what is necessary, or this is actually the needed thing, then they will not, what do you call, they will be in a right way to use the things in a particular manner. Then the other thing is, every action impacts society and nature. That also they should realize. See, whatever they do, that impact is going to be there on the society as well as on the nature. Maybe the society, when it comes into picture in their real environment, their friends or their classmates. So I think if we bring this kind of awareness among them, maybe through self-awareness or maybe through some reflection or maybe through some kind of examples, what all might be happening in and around them, that's going to definitely turn them back, and that will definitely bring them some self-harmony among them, and that is going to fulfill their inner requirements. This is what I think, madam. Thank you.
Extremely right put across, that understanding the real meaning of happiness, understanding prosperity, valuing the relationships, parental support, guidance, working in such a way that society and nature, how does my efforts impact, is at the limelight. All these are something which has to be integrated in every educational aspect that we take forward too. So through this panel discussion, our today's focus was on SWOT analysis of youth to address SDGs at the root. And with all this set of questions and discussions, what we could conclude for ourselves is that for youth, it is very essential to identify their strengths, understand the weaknesses, which is lack of clarity and state of confusion. The more the lack of clarity, the more is this state of confusion, and the address to it comes through ensuring the real meaning of happiness instead of engaging in overconsumption and getting more and more in terms of physical facility. So, with this, we are laying the right floor for our day two discussion, which talks about the vision, the roadmap, and it takes us towards the end of this particular panel discussion, but I feel extremely fulfilled by your august presence over here and the perspectives that different domains have shared on this platform, and each one of us focusing on the need to address it at the root, where the student from the very beginning should be able to take up, along with the skill set, at a higher priority, value based ethical living and conduct. So, with this, now I hand over it to our anchor, Jyoti Kulshrestha ji. Over to you to end up this particular session. Ji Jyoti ji.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vanchana, for this wonderful moderation of this session. Really, it was a very great discussion. And I hope that all the academicians and policy makers will try to implement the suggestions and the findings we discussed today. So various points are figured out by our panelists, esteemed panelists, like our youngest panelist Abhishek focuses on the sensitivity and the digital literacy as a strength of the youths. Chinendu ji mentioned the significance of the right kind of mentorship. Krishna Reddy ji focuses on the identifying the real world problems, and the real ownership will definitely change the perspective of the youth. I definitely agree with you, sir. Dr. Mitra draws attention towards the institutional support. Also, Dr. Srinivas also talked about the institutional support with various kinds of psychological aspects of the educational system we should take care of. Dr. Sandeep highlighted the significance of UHV courses for the engineering students. And Dr. Srinivasanlu ji discussed about the right understanding and importance of the right understanding and the self-awareness among the youths. Dr. Ishrat Mirzana ji also talked about the paradigm shifts from the GDP to GNH, gross national happiness. This is the demand of the time. And Dr. Patil also focuses on the purpose of the purpose should be clear to the student. So definitely the variety of the good thoughts and the thought-provoking ideas are out of the panel discussion in the today's panel. So definitely we will looking forward to implement all these suggestions and the findings for our panelists for at their institutions. So with that, I would like to thank Dr. Ishrat Mira Mirzana for introducing us with the UHV point of view. The session becomes successful with the effort of our whole team. So I would like to convey my thanks to Professor Shesha Maheshwaramma ji, Dr. Raghavamma ji for their scribe support, Dr. Sangeeta Shukla ji for timekeeping, Dr. Raidu ji for his presence, for my support, definitely. Thanks, sir. Dr. Jasmeer Randhawa for being present for the tech support of the team. So thanks to all the panelists, all the Indian and international panelists. See you all tomorrow. We have academic panel in the morning time and this panel in the same time. The theme of tomorrow's session is the vision for empowering youth to address SDGs at the root through the holistic value-driven approach. So see you all tomorrow. Good night.
And a sharing session is going to start in another 15 minutes. So all our panel members are invited to join there and listen to the sharings of those who have been incorporating UHV in their living. So thank you, everyone. Namaste, and a big clap for all of you.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ji.